I got a fun hot take for today's video, and it's that the Miami Dolphins are overrated. In last week's matchup, the Green Bay Packers took on the Miami Dolphins on Christmas Day, and Tua drops back early in the first quarter on 1st and 10 and finds Waddle across the field, who starts taking off and has Hill as a blocker across midfield and all the way for the score for an 84-yard touchdown to take an early 10-3 lead. Then early in the second quarter, the game tied at 10-10. Tua launches the ball deep to Tyreek Hill, who comes down with the ball to bring it to the 1-yard line, which set up an easy Wilson Jr. 1-yard run for the score. But sadly, the Packers came back as they were only down by 10, and on the last 3 drives of the game, with a chance to tie or take the lead, Tua threw 3 interceptions in a row. This then marks the 4th Dolphins loss in a row. But it's interesting to look at is that they only just started losing now that they're playing good teams that are going to make the playoffs. If you look through the 8 wins the Miami Dolphins have this season, only 2 of those 8 teams are currently making the playoffs. And on average, the teams that they have beat have a losing record. Now, if you look at teams that Miami has lost to this season, 5 of those 7 teams are currently making the playoffs, and 2 of them have a good chance at still making the playoffs. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if the Dolphins lost to the Patriots and Jets in their last 2 games of the season and ended their season with a 6-game losing streak. They did beat the Patriots earlier this season, but they did get crushed by the Jets, but I believe that was without Tua. But the Jets definitely aren't just a free win with their elite defense, so I mean, they could definitely lose to the Jets again and be kicked out of the playoffs. The Dolphins also have the 27th ranked defense in the league, averaging 24.7 points per game allowed, which doesn't help them when Tua is struggling. In my opinion, when looking at the Miami Dolphins and Tua, I don't think they're as good as people say they are. For one, they haven't shown they can consistently beat good teams. Now, I'm not saying that the Dolphins are bad, and when they lose, it's usually a close game, but I definitely feel that they are overrated. When it comes to a team with a good defense and a decent offense, the Dolphins seem to lose. And it definitely doesn't help that the Dolphins have a terrible defense. Now, I'm also going to say this, now this is just my opinion, so don't come at me for it, but I definitely think that if Tua didn't have Hill and Waddle, he wouldn't be as talked about and wouldn't be perceived as good as he is. I definitely feel like Hill and Waddle make Tua look better than what he is. I mean, when you have 2 of the best and 2 of the fastest wide receivers on your team, you should be throwing multiple touchdowns per game. But now, just to protect myself, I'm not saying that Tua is bad, I'm just saying he's also a little overrated in my opinion. Now, the Dolphins have the Pats for week 17 and the Jets for week 18, and my prediction is that they will win 1 and lose 1 and make it into the playoffs. I'm thinking they lose to the Pats, but they definitely beat the Jets, make the playoffs, but I do not see them winning a round in the playoffs. If the Dolphins make the playoffs, they're probably going to play a pretty high seed, and that team is going to put a lot of points up against them on their trash defense. Now, if the Dolphins make the playoffs where they currently are in the standings, it's looking like they're probably going to play the Bengals. But if they drop to the lower seed below Jacksonville, it's looking like they're going to play the Chiefs or the Bills. And all 3 of those teams, Bills, Chiefs, and Bengals, have a good offense and are going to put up a lot of points against the Miami defense. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and it's going to come down to Tua putting up points. The Miami offense can put up a lot of points. I think it might be close. They have a small chance at winning, but if Tua's throwing interceptions and not finding Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill for big plays, I think they're going to get crushed. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and once again, thanks for watching.